Good morning. Happy Saturday, friends. Today is Saturday, November 15th. It's currently 8:12 a.m. And if you notice anything different about me, I'm gonna give you a second to see if you notice anything different about me. Is it the shirt? Is it the shirt? Is it the skin? What is it? So clearly I have combed out my locks, and my locks have been gone since about October. Today I am going to get my first professional hair treatment. I'm getting a silk press and I'm getting a cut. I retained a lot of length, but a lot of this is like dead hair and it needs to go. Just combed out my locks after like 5 years.
You're like the sixth person in like within take a week and a half that is sitting here.
Actually never done a wash and go before, so I don't even know if like What's up, everybody? So it's a little bit later in the day. The time is currently 7:30. So as you guys can see, my hair is straightened. I got my silk pressed, I got my hair cut and treated, and now I am on the road to having healthy natural hair and the same length that I had healthy locks. This is the hair. And I wanted to give a little bit of background and context of why I combed out my locks, what that process was like, and what it has meant for me thus far. So go ahead and grab a drink, go ahead and grab a glass of wine, because this is going to be a chit chat. So before we even get into conversation about my locks, I do want to give some context about my experience today at the salon. And my experience is neither good nor bad, negative nor positive. I am neutrally providing my experiences to y'all so that you can formulate your own opinion. As you all know, this was my first time that I've had my hair flat ironed in over 7 years. Can you believe it? All in all, my experience was well. The stylist started the consultation just giving me a little bit of feedback about my hair, about her services. She had really great conversation. She used really great products to cleanse my scalp. The flat iron process went well, and I feel like she cut the appropriate length. Yes, I do feel like it's short, but I do feel like it needed to be cut. Like, I'm not one of those people who are stuck on their hair. I knew that it had to be cut, and I came to terms with it. Now, mind you all, I have not been in the hair care space for a long time. And I know that it is inflation and people are trying to get their money, but girl, I was not expecting to spend almost $300 for my hair today. Would y'all pay $300 for a silk press? I will say, okay, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to be completely honest and transparent. It's moving, girl. It's flowy, it's light, it's moving. Like, what? Who said what? It's giving all that. And even with all of that, personally, I was not prepared to pay $275 for a silk press. Y'all didn't tell me that the hairstylists were out here charging that amount of money. Y'all didn't tell me. So originally I booked for a new client silk press. Now, if you're a new client, you already got to pay more. It was $200 versus $175 or $150, which is like, if I'm a new client, then let me not cuss. I'm a new client, is that my fault? Like, why do I have to pay more? Okay, maybe it's because of the consultation. I get that. Was fine and prepared to pay that amount of money, but I did pay extra, which I opted into a scalp detox because I just had took down my braids. Because like I said, back in the day, you take out your braids, you take out your style, going to the hair salon, that's the purpose. So you don't have to do those services yourself of like detoxing your hair, going through the wash process, the styling process. You take down your braids and you go get your hair done for your next style. Well, apparently, you know, there's a $25 extra charge for a scalp detox. I opted into that. I was also ready to pay that. What I was not prepared to pay was an extra like $45 for high density hair. Like, what does high density hair mean? And why am I being charged because I'm not a bald headed hoe? Okay, so finally, I did receive an extra charge because she had to detangle my hair, and she said for future references I should come detangle. So in my mind, I asked her, I'm like, what does it mean to come detangle? Like, wouldn't that mean I have to like wash my hair or something? And she was like, you know, you can rinse your hair out, add some detangling product, and just like comb through it, because with her combing through it at the salon, it makes extra time. If I signed up for a 2 hours and 30-minute session, what extra time? That is the extra time. Take your time and do that. Now, I will say she did squeeze me in, so whatever. But like I said, this is my experience. I've never had anybody tell me that I had to pay extra to get my hair detangled, or because I didn't come detangled, or that I need to come detangled. Because in my experience, if you are detangling your hair, you're using your own products. You're taking the time to like do some step of your hair. And if I'm doing the steps myself, what do I also need to pay you to like do some steps for? All in all, I will say I had a positive experience. I was educated about healthy hair. I received some tips and tricks on some new products and how to take care of my natural hair. But a lot of things have changed, and I will leave it at that. And I did not come prepared to spend that amount of money. And maybe I need to stay within my tax bracket. And I will do so. I will stay within my tax bracket. So yeah, I was anticipating spending $150 today because I had already put down a $50 deposit, but I ended up having to pay like $225 on site. And I'm like, girl, it's my first time here. Like, I didn't know. You could have at least been like, oh girl, you know, if you're a returning client, like don't worry about it. But that's just me. I don't know. I have a different type of heart, and I've communicated about this subject long enough. So let's get started talking about the locks. And before I go into my journey of combing out my locks, let's pay homage to my locks and, you know, roll the clips. Let's see where we started at. Pick up another you call in the parking lot in Tucson. Are you with me? When I stand with the roof gone, I pull up like Jimmy Neutron. Looking up, you get a move on. Like you haul, and I know you like to go slow. My lock journey was one of the best experiences of my life. I am deeply saddened to have departed with that version of myself, but it was something that needed to be done. I was locked for 5 years, and throughout that journey, I grew my hair down to the middle of my back, almost to my butt crack. I fell in love with my natural self, just showing up as I was, but it was time for me to let go of my locks. And so let's just get started with talking about why I felt compelled to do that. So I felt compelled to comb out my locks for multiple reasons. The first is that my hair was just simply too heavy. I talked about in a previous video, I'll link it here, that I was having neck pains and just like struggling with my hair because my locks were very thick and they were very heavy. So on a simple physical level, they were just causing me pain. If I was to lock my hair again, I definitely would get smaller locks. Now, moving on to the spiritual side of things, I will say that this year has been very heavy for me, and I have experienced a great deal of loss. And within this loss and within this new becoming of myself, a new version of myself, I have been trying to listen to spirit and let go of things that are worrying me. I've been trying to let go of things with grace, with power, and with certainty. And I've been doing this with multiple things in my life that are bringing me worry. And my locks were simply one of those things that were bringing me worry. I was disconnected from the version of myself that I was when I decided to lock my hair. I was experiencing physical pain, and I just was wondering like what life would be without my locks. Because that was a pressing subject matter on my spirit, I decided to honor myself and just go through with the lock comb out process. When I decided to lock my hair, it was for a lot of reasons. And I felt like I had become this version of myself that I had always dreamed of, like holistic, herbalist, doula, like city girl, not city girl in the bad way, but just like wanderer, lover of all things, empathetic, like people. And I just felt like that was like the ultimate being of myself. But what I've learned in this 32nd year of life is that you never really arrive home. You are constantly evolving in your life. You are constantly growing and learning and becoming. And you really have to honor that. You have to honor all of the seasons in your life. And so this was a part of me honoring me becoming a new version of myself. Okay, so I did experience a traumatic loss this year. And within that loss, I did not pour into my physical beauty as much. And so as I came out of that season in my life, I wanted to really tap into a different version of my beauty and myself. And when I think about when I first locked my hair, it was because I felt like I was being over sexualized, and I didn't want people to see me for a beautiful aesthetic. I wanted people to see me for exactly who I was, with my natural hair, the way I was showing up and being. So having locks was a way in which I hate to say it, but a way in which I disconnected from my beauty.
Future Aubrey here. I just want us to be more clear and confident in this point that I'm trying to make. So I did not get rid of my locks because I didn't feel beautiful. I absolutely did. For me, my locks represented a season where I wanted to be rooted and seen for my presence and my purpose, and not sexualized because of like how I looked, or just like my hair taken away from everything that I was doing in the real world. So now as I've combed them out, I'm reconnecting with just another side of myself. It's not better, not worse. It's just different. And it's just about meeting myself again and just realizing that life is constantly evolving. We are constantly changing, and you can feel so confident and sure in who you are. And then all of a sudden life throws you curveballs and you decide to change to meet your needs.
So needless to say, I had all of these thoughts over the course of a year. This was not an easy decision, and for so long I would see people combing out their locks or cutting their locks, and I was very judgmental, like, how dare you? This is supposed to be your lock journey. You're supposed to be locked in. And then when I started to experience my own feelings and anxieties, I had to do what I had to do. And like I said, anything that has been pressing on my spirit this year, I've decided to tackle it head on. And so my hair is one of those things. So now that I have been honest about the physical and spiritual aspects of combing out my locks, let's get started in talking about the process. I did have to cut a lot of my hair, and I could have simply like cut my locks, but a part of me was feeling like I would retain more length than what I did, so I decided to comb them out. It took me over a month. It took me about 2 hours to comb out one lock. I was very disconnected with the process. I constantly just wanted it to be over, wanted it to get done. Finally, thank God, I am so grateful for my best friend. Like, shout out to you, Larisha. She came to my space when it was a space that I was not ready to host people, but she saw me, my best friend saw me at my lowest and came in. I had like 15 locks left, and she helped me detangle them and comb them out. So all in all, the process took about a month. I did have help towards the end with my last 15, but I did most of the process on my own. I used the small tooth comb, I used water, and I used conditioner, and it was pretty easy to comb out. It was just time consuming. I think the big question that a lot of people answer is like, how much hair did I lose? I do still have all the hair. I forgot that I had this hair until the other day, and I walked past and I was like, what the hell is that? And it is like literally all the hair that I lost. I'll pull it out. I'm scared to touch it. I shouldn't be scared to touch it, but so this is, wow, oh my god, like seeing it in camera is crazy. This is, you can still see some of the conditioner, but this is all of the hair that I lost. But yeah, I lost a lot of hair. I lost a lot of hair during the combing out process. I lost a lot of hair with getting my hair cut. So I guess that's just a part of the game. So if you're thinking about cutting your locks versus combing them out, that's one of the cons, is that you will lose a lot of hair. So some people think that it's worth it to just cut it. But to me, I had to pay homage to that version of myself, and I had to go through the process of like combing them out. So now that I have this hair and I've had this discussion with y'all, I do want to do some type of like ritual. So whether it's like burning the hair or like saving a piece of it, I don't know. So the last thing that I want to talk about during this chit chat, if you're still here, go ahead and drop a heart. Drop a heart. They do the hearts different these days, but yeah, drop a heart in the comments to let me know that you're still here. But the last thing that I want to talk about is like, where do we go from here? Locks, of course, are very low maintenance, and having natural hair is not. I do not plan to keep my hair in its straight state. It's not something that I can maintain. I don't even have a flat iron. I don't even have rollers right now, so I don't even know what I'm going to do tonight. So I do not plan to keep my hair straight. I plan to wear it natural and in natural styles. My goal is going to be to grow happy, healthy hair. And I guess since I was charged a high density fee, I guess it'll be to maintain my density as well. But thank you all so much for listening to this video and being a part of my lock journey. And let me know if you have any other questions about this experience.
We've been dancing for so long under the stars. I feel that the grass will cut through.